In this unit we're going to take a look at crop regions. So what exactly are crop regions? Well, let's take this demo project as an example. So I've got a basic floor plan here, got a number of rooms in this project. Down in this bottom left hand corner is the kitchen. Let's say I want to produce a separate plan where we just look at this kitchen, maybe to a larger scale, maybe want to look at the fittings and fixtures in there. So we don't need to see the rest of the floor plan view, but we do need to just focus in on the kitchen itself. So that would result in a view such as that. You can see there the rest of the floor plan has been masked out, if you like, and that is done by using crop regions, which basically allows you to draw or define a boundary around the area you're interested in and mask out the rest of the view. Very similar to viewports in AutoCAD. If you're coming from AutoCAD, the same principles apply here. In order to demonstrate how to create a crop region, let's recreate that kitchen view that we just looked at the start of the unit. So I've just deleted it out of the project browser, and I'm going to take you through how I created that step by step now. So here's our overall floor plan view. The first thing we need to do is duplicate this view. Remember, duplicate or duplicate with detailing. Now I'm going to duplicate with detailing because I want these room tags to come across with the view. I'll cover creation of rooms and tags later on in the course, but for now let's just duplicate with detailing. So we get a copy of that floor plan view. Just going to rename that. Going to call that kitchen. So this is going to be our view just of the kitchen. So at the moment we haven't applied any crop regions, so it is identical in its extents to the first view. Let's go back to that kitchen view. Right, let's go ahead and create the basic crop region. Now everything you need to create and control your crop region is contained on the view control bar at the bottom of your view, and there are two toggles related to crop regions. Now the one on the left decides whether the view is cropped or not, and the one on the right next to it decides whether the actual crop region is visible or not, and those two can be set in any combination, and I'll show you exactly how that works a little later in the unit. But for now let's turn crop regions on. So you can see at the moment, if I move my cursor out the way, but you look here at that icon, there's a little X over it, so crop regions aren't active. I'm going to go ahead and click it. The X goes away. Might need to zoom out a little there. Now at the moment I can't see the crop region. The crop region is active, but I can't see it, and that's because the other toggle, which has a little light bulb over it, is not active. The crop region boundary itself is being hidden. I need to click on that icon, and you can see on the icon itself the little light bulbs come on, and here is the crop region. Now if you hover over it, it is an element you can select, so it highlights in blue when I hover over. Now if you click on it and select it, each side of the crop region has a grip, and those are what you use to control the position of those boundaries. Now if I move it across, you'll see exactly how it works. Going to pull that in tight there, and the one on the left hand side and top and bottom, pull that down, pull that up there, and now we have a cropped view. So if you like, it's drawing a window around the area we're interested in and masking out all the other elements of the model that we're not interested in. So why exactly do we need two separate toggles related to crop regions? Well, I'm just going to explain that now. I'm going to keep with this kitchen view that we've just created, and to start with I'm going to turn the visibility of the crop region off, and I'm going to turn the crop region itself off. So we're back to the default view, if you like. So I said before you can use these in any permutation or combination. Let's look at how that works now. So at the moment we can't see the crop region and the view is not cropped. Now if we like, we can see where the crop region is by using the show crop region. That's the right hand one of the two toggles, and that shows us the boundary, so we could make adjustments to that. Notice the view itself is still not being cropped, we are just displaying the crop region boundary itself. Turn that off for now. Likewise, I can turn on the cropping, but now I can't see the crop region, or I could turn on the crop region display if I need to make adjustments. So the reason you have two is in a normal typical workflow you would display the crop region boundary, you would define it around the area you're interested in, then you would probably crop the view, and typically you may want to turn off the actual display of the boundary itself. That's a much neater view to put onto a sheet without having a bounding box around it, but you still need the view to be cropped. You may have noticed that even though I've cropped the view down tight around the kitchen, it's actually still displaying the room names, the room tags. These haven't been cropped. Now that's because we actually have two crop regions available to us in any view. So far I've just talked about the primary crop region or the model crop region. We actually have a second crop region called the annotation crop region. Now if I look at the properties of this view, again you can turn on the crop view toggle there, or make the crop region visible or not with another tick box, exactly the same as those two there. But another parameter below there you'll just see is the annotation crop. So let's make the crop region visible. So there is the crop region we've previously defined, the primary crop region. If I turn on annotation crop, and now if I click and select the primary crop region, you'll actually see a second boundary in a dashed line. Now this is the annotation crop region. So between the primary crop region boundary and the annotation crop region boundary is this area in which annotation elements can exist. Now annotation elements might be room tags, such as the ones displayed here. There might be text notes, they may be grid line heads, anything that's annotating your construction documents. So anything that falls in that zone can exist as an annotation. So you'll see how that works now. If I just pull in the top of the annotation crop, it will actually cut off that room tag. Now you might be asking yourself, why do we have these two crop regions? Well, let's say for example we want a text note here pointing into a specific item or component in the kitchen. So we could have all our kitchen fittings around here on a drawing, and we want a series of text notes with leaders all pointing to various items. So let's just put a demo one in here. So let's call that the oven. Now if we only had one crop region and we pull that in, then as you've seen there it would cut off the text note. But by having another crop region, we can actually decide whether the text notes still display even though the underlying model has been masked out. So it's really useful to have those two crop regions and use them together. Now the annotation crop region will always appear outside of the primary crop region, and it's up to you to set where that boundary is in order to define this area where you want your annotation elements to exist. Now if when you activate your primary crop region using either the parameters on the properties palette or the toggles down here, if you can't see that second annotation crop region, you need to go to the properties palette and you just need to put a tick in that tick box against annotation crop. So far we've just created rectilinear crop region boundaries, but what if we need to create a non-rectilinear crop region boundary? I'm going to show you how to do that now. So for example, let's say we would need a crop boundary around this room which has a canted wall on the one side. So first of all, I'm just going to create a crop region as we did before. So make sure we can see crop region boundaries, turn that on. Make sure the view is cropped. There is our crop region. So as I did there, you may sometimes just have to zoom out a bit to see it, because by default the crop region is going to be around the whole extent of your model. So now we can start pulling this in. Bring it round here. Pull it up there and zoom back in. Now what we need to do is edit the shape of the crop region boundary. So with the boundary still selected, if you look up on the ribbon, there is a button there to edit crop. So I'm going to hit that now. Revit takes us into sketch mode. You'll be familiar with the red cross, the green tick and the pink boundary lines. We've got the familiar draw palette. We can use any of these tools to now define or redefine our boundary. So I'm simply going to add a line across there. I'm going to use the trim controls. We looked at these before, trim to corner, just to tidy up. Remember the rules of sketch mode. Revit is very particular and specific about what it will accept. It needs a closed polygon shape for a boundary. So we've got that here. I can go ahead and hit the green tick, and Revit creates a crop region based on the shape of the boundary we've just defined. Again, I can just turn off the display of that boundary if I need to.
And that completes this unit. To get the most out of this training material, please take the complete course online at bimscape.com. Here you will find a complete learning management system that allows you to work through the course at your own pace. Comprehensive written tutorials provide additional information to that found in the training videos. Mark each unit as complete as you finish it and move on to the next. At any point you can return to any of the units you have previously completed to go over the material again. If you'd like to take this course online, please visit www.bimscape.com/Revit for details.